We have a lot in common, Darryl and I, a lot. And we'll get to a lot of that during this conversation. So watching Darryl with Kaylee McEnany on Fox News this weekend, and then again on the MLB Network, and he was here on Friday for the Fanatics Day, and his new book is coming out, too, in less than 2 weeks. It's going to be an amazing, amazing sell. Here he is, the great number 18, former great Met and Yankee, my dear friend Darryl Strawberry. Darryl, good morning, pal. How are you?
Good morning, Sid. How you doing, my brother?
I'm doing great. I loved you on Fox News on Saturday. And look, you know, it's Jesus Christ for you. It's Hashem for me. I love them both. I don't care. I'm just happy that there's religion in people's lives, because I do think without it, we see what happens. You know, I believe that school shootings and a lot of other things that go wrong in this country is because of the lack of religion. So to hear you talk about your faith and what Jesus means to you and how he has restored sanity and a great life for you was very uplifting on Saturday, Darryl.
Well, thank you so much for having me. Like you said, we have a lot of things in common. Of course, we have the same haircut, so that makes us really good together.
It's
true. But, you know, you get a chance to reinvent yourself in this life, and a lot of people don't take advantage of that. And faith is good, and I think what is missing and what is lacking in a lot of people is that faith. You know, they're more conformed to all this other stuff, trying to make them well. And it doesn't make you well. I had all that. I experienced all that. I'm glad I experienced all that first. I'm glad I had to go through what I had to go through to be able to have that platform to play Major League Baseball and be a star and win. And then God would come into my life and transform me to go out there to help others. And that's what the book is all about. Another Life is not about me. It's about God giving you a chance to do something for other people that are still out there suffering, other people that still don't believe. And I get a chance to go to all these really cool places. I was just up in, did a recovery event the other night up in Connecticut because I'm in recovery. And I'm just encouraging people that are up there. Just because you have money doesn't mean you can stay well. You have to change your behavior of who you are if you want to get sober, if you want to get clean. I did it, and many more have done that. And some have to die so some can live. And we have been able to live to carry a message of hope. Another Life has that detail all the way down through the book. It's not just about me. It's about my wife. It's about, you know, a heart attack coming through that and God getting me through that. And it's about going into the prisons and ministering to men that's lost and broken, and going into hospice. And there are those that are dying and praying for them, and going into communities where kids are struggling with addiction and drugs and trying to help them understand it's a dead end road for them. So we have a responsibility when our life has been changed, and we need to carry that responsibility well and represent whoever is your faith leader. You need to keep that at the top of the picture of everything that you're trying to do to lead people and bring them so they can get free.
Well said. And you were being kind of humble when you said I had all that. Oh, you had it, Darryl. You know, I always talk about Mickey Mantle being that generation's hero, that Mike Francesa generation. You were our hero. You know, every Met fan I speak to, Joe Beningo, you name it, who loves the Mets, it's Darryl. You were that guy, and you won a World Series with the Mets, and you won multiple World Series with the Yankees. You had it all of it. Big contract with the Dodgers. And then you had the issues, which I had too. And I guess my question to you is, I'm sure that you asked for help many, many times. I know for me, I was in and out of the programs time and time again. I really wanted to get well, but I couldn't. I even showed up at meetings drunk or high. But I remember the exact time when I asked God for help and things changed and my life has changed dramatically. Do you remember the exact moment when you hit your knees and you asked Jesus for help and you've been good ever since?
Yeah, I remember the fact that, you know, I was still stuck in addiction, and it was my wife, Tracy, who grabbed a hold of me and was pulling me out of places and saying, God's got a plan for you, and we're going back to St. Louis. And she wanted to go back home. And I just thought to myself, I don't want to leave Florida to go to St. Louis. I said, there's no black folks living in St. Louis, so it's just how crazy you are when you're in the midst of your addiction and loss and think of all these different ways. And it was her, it was her faith, and watching her get up and go and be with God and surrender her life. She got clean and she never went back. She got 25 years. I was still stuck out there. And so she was already on the journey of recovery and faith. And I just remember, going to St. Louis, and I just remember getting into church, and I just remember going through this whole process of sitting for like 7 years to go through discipleship so I can learn the Word of God. And when you understand that all the different people that are in the Bible, they're just like us, it's just a different generation of people. They all had struggles, had problems, Moses, David, King Solomon, all these guys had problems just like us when you come to that understanding. But they got to a place where God became in their heart, not their head anymore. And that's what happened to me. God came into my heart. Our heads always want to tell us what to do and direct us, how we should live and how we should treat people. But when we understand God, God is love, God is mercy, God is grace, God is peace. And for those haters or people, whatever they want to be, that criticize about God, man, you're going to need God one day because you're going to die.
Yep.
And you don't need, and when you die, you don't even know where you're going. And you think you just, this is it, living this earthly life. And we think, well, this is just it. I can live any old kind of way. No, there's a price that you have to pay at the end of your life. And that's my hope that I try to bring to people. I don't throw my faith on people. I just live it. I want my kids to see their father as a man of faith. Yes, he was a great baseball player, successful. I love New York. There's no greater place to play. I love playing in front of the people here. But I'm just hoping that my life of transformation will be a light to people so they can see that it can happen. It didn't happen when I was playing. It wasn't supposed to happen when I was playing. Yeah, I probably was on my way to Cooperstown, but I'm on my way to the Hall of Faith, of helping so many people. I mean, the work that I get to do and the travel load that I have to travel across this country, it's amazing that God would pick someone like me. And that's the thing about it, Sid. God's not looking for perfect people because there is none. He's looking for people that's available, that will surrender to him and say yes to him. And when you do surrender your life and your will to him, he'll use you mightily in a different way to be a voice for him.
Well, I've told you before, even though you're a magnificent baseball player, magnificent, and yeah, you fell short of Cooperstown because of some of the off-the-field issues, but I've told you this many times, I mean this, your best work has been since. And you love God so much, and you want to deliver that important message so badly that you're a minister. I mean, you talk to a congregation every weekend, don't you?
Just about. I've talked to thousands. I don't just I get in front of 10,000s when I have to preach, and I've never went to school. I'm not qualified to do that. God's qualified to call in me. He allowed the Holy Spirit to come live inside of me and teach me the Bible and give me the revelation of who he is and why we're here. And remember, this is short. This is not long. It goes fast. Make the best out of it. Go out there, love on people because he's extended his love to us. When he brings you in and rescue you and redeem you and restore you, he has given you his grace, and you know what his grace is. His grace is something that we don't deserve, but he gives it to us anyway. Every day I wake up, and when my feet hit the ground, I say, thank you, Lord, because that is grace to get up and go another day.
100%. Darryl Strawberry, the former great New York Met and great New York Yankee. His book, Another Life, is coming out August the 11th. He's been making the rounds, and we'll get to the sports stuff, too, at the very end of the conversation. So I had the really honor a couple of years ago for our mutual friend, the great Bobby Hartman, all the way out there in Riverhead, Long Island, Darryl, to co-host an event with you. Last year was Thomas Hollywood Henderson. This year was Randy Grimes. You know all these names, but 2 years ago was my guy, Darryl Strawberry, and your son Jordan was there. And it was just amazing that I had the opportunity to speak about addiction with you. And your speech was the highlight of the night. So not only are you preaching the will of God to people all over the world and all over the country all the time, but you're out there for our brothers and sisters in addiction as well. And we got a lot of those. And when Darryl Strawberry speaks to those people, that gives those folks real hope.
Well, shout out to Bobby. You know, he texted me this morning and he said, I know you're going to be on with Sid because we're all buddies. And we all have the same thing in common. Just because you end up in addiction doesn't mean you're a loser. It means that you're just broken. And it just means that you have to put the pieces back together on the inside, not what we look like on the outside. And everybody want to, you know, criticize and call you this, you're cokehead, this and that. You don't know.
By the way, Darryl, I still get that. I'm sober a long time, and my detractors still call me a cokehead, crackhead, all of that. You know that, right?
Yeah, me too. Yeah, but they don't realize, you know, we've been sober for a long time, buddy. So you're probably still out there. You think the party is still good, and you're waking up and you're feeling empty on the inside, and you're wondering why. And we're sitting over here, we're free as ever, and we love life, and we love helping people. We love going back and helping those that are still sick and suffering because. For the grace of God, there go I, there go you, there go Bobby. And it's our job to go back and extend the love to them and show them that they can be free too. That's what another life is about. It's about being free. It's about being free and going back and giving back to people. There's a lot of great athletes out there, and they've achieved great things, and people go crazy for them, and a lot of stars in different ways. But being a star in a different life for me is the most incredible thing that I've ever experienced. More than just, I mean, I've hit tremendous home runs and this, but I've never hit home runs like Jesus hit, man. Jesus saves people, man. I can't save people. I'm just, like I said, I'm just a vessel working for him to show them that he cares for you no matter what the circumstances are in your life.
How bad did it get for you? I know for me, for example, I've talked about this publicly. I'm not proud of it. But my daughter saved my life in Cleveland. My daughter, Ava, she's 22. She was a baby when I was standing on the ledge of the 14th floor at the hotel and was on a 3-day coke binge and really wanted to kill myself. Yeah. So I had that twice. I don't know how bad things actually got for you, 18.
It got bad for me multiple times. There were times, you know, that I wanted to. Tracy was pulling me out of dope houses, and I even got into all the other crazy stuff, shooting heroin and all that stuff. It gets bad when you're out there because you're sick. Addiction is a disease, and people say, "Well, it's just a weakness." There's nothing weak about me. I'm 6'6". You run up on me, you think I'm weak? Yeah.
Not with those forearms. You kidding me? You have those Steve Garvey forearms.
and believe me, still being a preacher, you think you can run up on me and it will never happen. I still have that kind of South Central LA in me where I come from. But when you're sick, you need help. And it got bad, just like you said, your daughter and, you know, my wife, Tracy, and pulling me out of places, and all my brothers in recovery down in South Florida, always there for me. And my sponsor, Will G, he was like, you guys wait till it's all over for him. He's going to have one hell of a story because of the run that I had lost out there. And I have an incredible story. It's very powerful. We all end up with a great story. The fact is, with us, Sid and Bobby, we're not afraid to share our story. We're not afraid to share our experience, strength, and hope or what happened to us. And that's the problem with so many people. They're ashamed. Don't be ashamed because you're recovering from alcohol or drugs. Man, God has given you a gift to be able to give back to somebody else. And that's what we all have to remember. It's not always about us. It's about who we can help. when we get on the other side of life like this.
12 stepping. That 12 step is a very, very big step. I agree with you. And thank God I got one right. I got it really right. And I got past 3. That was a problem for a while. I know your relationship with Jesus, but I had a big, tough time with 3. And now it's all about step 12. So I guess this is just out of ignorance because I'm not Christian. But do you pray every day, Darryl, every day?
Yes, I do. I pray every day. I pray for the nation. I pray for the political people. Even though I'm not into politics, I pray for them because they are the ones that run everything, the country, the president, the Republicans, Democrats. I pray for people because prayer is the answer to all supplication. God hears prayers. That's how I ended up here with my mother praying behind the scenes while I was playing Major League Baseball. She was dying from cancer. She was praying that God would stop me and save me. I was, out there in a heathen lifestyle, and thought I had it going on, thought I was all that in a bag of chips. And at the end of it, none of us are. We all got issues. We all got stuff we got to deal with. And some people don't have to go through it publicly like a person like me and you. We have to be persecuted publicly, but that's okay because they did the same thing to Jesus. They did the same thing to Gary Carter. And when he stood and he smiled and he talked about Jesus, people persecuted him and everything.
Yeah.
But he kept smiling. He just kept on going.
Yeah.
And I admired him and Mookie Wilson for being able to stand in the middle of that and have faith while we were playing Major League Baseball.
Also, the kid, the quarterback from Florida, Tim Tebow, he is not afraid to talk about his love for Jesus. And he got killed all the time because he actually had the nerve to be a virgin until he got married. What's the matter with him? He's a great guy, Tim Tebow.
There's nothing wrong with him. He lives for Christ. It's those that sit up in the media and think they know everything about Christ and think they know everything about faith, and they really don't. Until you have an encounter with Christ, then you'll truly know who he is. You'll realize that he's more than just a man. He's a holy man that's never had sin in him, and he washes the sin out of you and cleanses you. And people say, well, aren't you still a sinner? I say, yeah, I just don't practice anymore. There was a time I used to practice the life like that, but I live a life according to the principles and the word of God. And I'm thankful that I got the knowledge through God. So you have a lot of people get on all these podcasts and all these different outlets now, and they want to talk about everybody and they want to talk about people with faith. Well, when are you going to get some faith? Talking means nothing. I mean, I did all that when I played baseball. I talked, I had a lot of fights. I did all that, man. That's over. There's a brand new me. I have reinvented myself, like I said, to my love for my wife and my kids and this country and those that need hope. It's people that need hope. I don't waste my time on foolishness of people talking about sports. You've never done and played at the level I played. So what are you talking about? How can you talk about a man that's played in front of 50,000 when everybody's booing and cheering? I'm still hitting the ball off the scoreboard. Yep. That should tell you who I am.
Yeah, that's a good point. And you're a loving guy. You're pro-Israel. I love that about you. And part of the reason why you and I get along so well. But you also love this country. And you have thanked President Trump often. President Trump did pardon you. I guess it was last year, maybe the year before. And even though you don't talk a lot about politics, you do golf with Trump. You've been friendly with Trump for many years. You're eternally grateful for that pardon, yes?
I'm grateful for his family, his kids. I know all of them and him. I've had a relationship with them before he was even the president of the United States, and a lot of people talking about you're a sellout. Sell out. I sell this, he's someone that cares about people that he know, and he does the right thing. He pardoned me from all that I went through. And people saying, well, why don't he pardon this guy? Why was he pardon a guy like him? Because he wanted to. I didn't force him. I asked him to do that. It's just the kind of gentleman he is towards the people that he loved and cared for. Everybody's going to always have something to say. They're never going to be happy with just what happens to people just because maybe it's not happening to you and you're not in that spotlight. You just only want to tear people down because of the spotlight there. And of course, I do love Israel. It's the Holy Land, and it's where the Messiah is coming back one day. And we better be ready. You better get your heart right and get ready because he's definitely coming back. You better believe that for sure.
I believe it.
People can say what they want. It's the land that God has built for his people, and that's what he has called it. The Jewish people is his people, and they have his blessings. He has given it also to the Gentiles now. If you want to accept it and receive it, you can accept it and you can have it too. But those that sit in those media outlets, their opinions about something they don't even know about, they need to go pick up their Bible and go to the Old Testament and read it and understand. You understand about the Jewish people they're the chosen people. It doesn't matter what you may think or say. God said, these are my people, and he loves us all, but these are the people are my chosen people.
Bottom line, Old Testament, there's no Christianity without Judaism. I mean, Jesus Christ was born Jewish. I mean, it's so ridiculous, the whole thing. I do want to get to something you said on Friday, but I got to ask you this. Did you say it, Darryl Strawberry, because he happened to be sitting there? I know you're an honest guy, but you did say that of all the great players you ever played with, and a lot of them, right? From Dwight Gooden to Derek Jeter, the list goes on and on. You said Keith Hernandez was the best. You meant that, huh?
Yes. Nobody was ever smarter than Keith. Keith was the smartest, best player I ever played with. To be around his intensity level of understanding the game, clutch more than you could ever imagine. Jeter was clutch too. But I'm just talking about it at a whole different level. Keith was like a manager on the field, and he directed things. And him and Carter, both of them were outstanding leaders and brought leadership to us. I'm not taking anything away from other players. Barry Bonds is the best player I ever seen and played baseball against. But I'm talking about the things that most people didn't see from day to day of how Keith was for us. We were young. I was 21 when he came over in '83, and I was 24 when we won the championship. And we don't win the championship without Keith and Carter. You know, leadership, responsibility, and they knew how to handle younger players and help younger players. And that's what Keith did for me. Keith helped me taught me how to hit left-hand pitching. And I used to crush him. I started crushing him. I hit 20 home runs off of left-hand pitchers in one season, leading the league hitting home runs off of left-hand pitching because it was very difficult. But Keith was a student of the game. He just and a master at it, at every piece of it, from fielding, from hitting, from conversation, and showing you things and showing you how to take batting practice and hit the ball down the line and, left field line, the center field, and then you can start pulling it, not hitting the ball to the ballpark because so many guys want to get up there and hit the ball to the ballpark. It's 5 o'clock. It does not count. And I started realizing that watching Keith, the way he took batting practice, and I started doing the same thing. And when I came in the game situation, I can hit the ball to the ballpark either way. I can hit it to left field, right field, center field, because I learned from him what it was to be able to stay on the baseball when you're taking batting practice and working on things.
And
that's what I loved about him.
And he had similar issues to you and I, those early 80s. Talking about St. Louis, he had some rough years, and one year in particular where they held his feet to the fire, Keith. But he also came around, and he's become really a legend here. He does a great job announcing the games on SNY. And that'll bring me to the final question, which is this New York Met team. They said a couple of days ago, Darryl, that outside of 5 players, Juan Soto, Ewing, Benji, Nolan, the kid who pitched yesterday, I just forgot his name, McLean, and Christian Scott, outside of those 5 players, everybody is available. Your thoughts on that?
Well, they better put Lindor in there, too. You better not trade him. I mean, he's a phenomenal player. I don't care what anybody has to say about him. He has tremendous talent. He's one of the best shortstops that's probably going to be in the game.
You're going to be mad at me, but I'm mad at him. You're going to be mad at me. Don't be mad at me because I love you. But his wife worked for Mamdani, And I can't see. I just can't get over that. I'm sorry.
I know. I'm not talking about the politics parts of what people are, but I'm talking about from a standpoint of an athlete.
Yeah.
You won't find many Lindors. They forgot how good he was when he carried them down that stretch. He put that team on his back, and that's the only reason a lot for them to be able to go into the National League Championship Series.
True.
Of course, Pete hit some big home runs for them too, but Lindor was the key to that. He's that kind of player when he's well, when he's healthy, and his mindset is together. He can do those kind of things. Him and Soto, they can do those type of things. And with the younger players that they got coming, if they're going to get younger, get younger. The fans just going to have to be a little patient. But Atlanta always did that. Their fans were very patient. I know this is New York, you're not patient. Because what people are expecting, they're expecting the Mets to be like, well, where's another Darryl Strawberry coming up at 21? Mm-hmm. Where's another Doc Gooden coming up at 19? You rarely see that on the franchise team. But you might have to have some younger players come in and start developing, and so you can have that generation for the next couple of years. If you could build around some of these guys you already have and what you have in your farm system, and if you trade some players and you get some more talent, there you go. Before you know it, you'll be back in the mix. But it's going to take you a minute to get there. It's not going to take forever.
No.
Because talent is real good. When you evaluate young talent, that's the most important thing. Frank Cashin built our program and the Mets system on the young talent. He went out and got Keith. He went out and got Carter. And he went out and got Ray Knight. And before you know it, he got Davey Johnson as the manager. And 3 years, within the next 3 years, we are in the championship. And so it's not like that today. The players have to come to the big leagues young and not a whole lot of experience, and you got to go through it.
Yeah,
they're going to go through. They're going to go through the ups and downs.
Yeah,
and
like
that's
life,
all part of baseball
and life,
just like life.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody's got something in life they got to go through. Theirs just not public. Right.
Sometimes ours are public, and people want to point the finger at people with that's in the public spotlight. Well, if they looked in your closet, what would fall out of your closet?
I love junk
in your. You got some junk in your trunk too, and we all do. So let's just be people and be pleasant and say kind things to people and help people. That's the most important thing. And I'm so proud of Lenny Dykstra. For one guy, that he's sober now. He's got saved. He's on a different direction too. So people want to kill people because of what they go through. It's life here, man. It's life, and then we're gonna die, and then it's gonna be over. When we're dead and gone, you won't even be talking about Darryl Strawberry or Sid or Keith or Lenny Dykstra anymore.
You're right. Darryl, this was such an amazing conversation. I couldn't love you more than I do. You were my favorite player growing up, and now you're like my favorite person. I swear to God, Darryl Strawberry, I love you. The book is Another Life. It'll be out there on August the 11th. From the all-time great New York Met and New York Yankee, but an even better person, my great friend, Darryl Strawberry. Darryl, great job.
And I'm having a signing July 31st at Citi Field.
Oh, wow.
Another Life for my book. For the fans, whoever comes to the store, I told them bring 2 pieces of memorabilia and I'll sign them for free. The book is $28, but my autograph is more worth than that. So if you want a baseball hat or whatever you bring, on July 31st, 6 p.m. at Citi Field.
That is awesome. Oh, that's great. Darryl, that's awesome, buddy. Thank you so much, and we'll see you on July 31st, my man. Thank you so much.
All right, sir. Love you, man. Appreciate you.
I love you even more. Darryl Strawberry right there, the great number 18, back on Sid and Friends in the Morning.
Thanks for listening to Sid and Friends in the Morning. You can hear Sid and Friends in the Morning weekday mornings at 6. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?